All right. It looks like we are live. How is everyone doing tonight? Let me see here. Let me share this to Twitter right off the bat. You shut up, you stinking advertisement. Get out of here. Get out of here. We don't need advertisements in here. Hey, Terrence, how's it going? Alex McCarthy, Darth Frongel. Wait, you said 9 p.m. to me on Twitter. It is 9 p.m. It's 8:59 right now. 8:59 p.m. It's not even 9 yet. I'm 1 minute early. You guys should be happy. I'm doing good, Terrence. How are you? Let me just share that we are live. Black Angus is going to be joining in a bit. And hopefully Drunk3PO will be joining. I'm not sure if he is yet or not. I am live talking about Game of Thrones. Let's see, Game of Thrones. Season 8, Episode 3. Join me, and together we can defeat the Night King. Boom. Boom. There we go. All right. Let's see here. The North remembers. What's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Tight Talk, Marvel and Star Wars. Yo, yo, yo. So it looks like you changed your channel name, huh? That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I will message you back. I'm swamped right now, so I haven't been able to get back to you yet, but I will definitely get back to you. Tight Talk. Thank you for reaching out. Ah, that tastes so good. Wow. I have this new like water flavoring stuff and it's super good. That's delicious. All right. Let's see. We can close that window out. So what a crazy episode it was last night. It actually wasn't as crazy as I expected it to be. Let's see here. Yeah, probably not tonight, Terrence. I already have some people scheduled to join me tonight, but I will definitely keep you posted about other streams. I found out that saying what you do with your channel in your name helps people find out what your channel is about. Interesting. Well, people find out that I rise, obviously, from the title of my name. I mean, come on. I rise. If you guys could hit the like button, I would appreciate that. Let's see here. I don't think I really have. I'm starting to work on one of my merch items right now, so that's pretty cool. It's something that I am really excited to be sharing with you guys. I'm also currently working on the very beginning stages of a new video series that may or may not be part of a new channel that I'm going to be part of and stuff like. I don't know if I want to do it on the JosiahRises channel or make a new channel specifically for what I'm going to be doing here. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with that yet, but it's going to be a really, really awesome series. It will be unlike anything you've ever seen on YouTube, probably. So I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to be something completely new, and I'm really, really excited. I want to share details with you guys right now, but I'm like super early stages with that right now. So Josiah and Terrence live stream would be epic. I'm looking forward to it at some point in the future. Definitely will happen someday. Don't worry about that. And yeah, let's see here. We don't really have too many people in here right now. I'm trying to find like what the best day is. Let's see. I'm trying to find like the best day or not the best day, like the best time to do this Game of Thrones stream. Last time I did it, it was like pretty early in the morning. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, and there weren't very many people that showed up to that. And there's even less people showing up to this evening one. So maybe I will go back to doing it in the morning and stuff, because I at least had more people than I do now in that one. But yeah. So I kind of want to get some of your guys' thoughts about the Game of Thrones episode from last night before I kind of dish out some of my thoughts about it. What did you guys think about the episode? Spartan Jeremy, welcome to the stream. Yeah, man, I expected more from this episode. I really did. I really thought that they were going to be doing a lot of really epic things with this episode. I thought it was going to be insane. And there were some very intense moments in this episode, but it wasn't quite what I was expecting. It should have been a lot tighter. I don't know. I'm going to turn off my heater real quick because I don't really need that on anymore here. Okay. Sorry, that was kind of annoying me a little bit. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was not happy with what they did with the Night King. That's for sure. That is for sure. The Night King was a disappointment, to say the least. There was really nothing they did with him. He showed up, he rode the dragon a little bit, he raised more people from the dead, he walked around, he like made eye contact with like some of the main characters, and then he got killed. That was about it. I expected way more from the Night King. I will be completely honest with that. When Jon Snow was running up behind him and stuff, and it looked like that they were going to be doing like some sort of like fight. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so cool. We get to see just how awesome the Night King is, and that didn't happen. The Night King raised a bunch of the dead, and then walked off, and that was it. It's like, what? We didn't even see the Night King fight at all. The only thing we saw him do as far as fighting goes was stab Theon and kill Theon, and that was it. How can you? I mean, that was like the perfect opportunity to do an awesome sword fight between Jon and the Night King. Why didn't you take that opportunity? I don't know. It was just really disappointing for sure. Oh my gosh, you scared me. Holy
Hello.
Hi. How's it going?
Oh, it's not bad. I was just I figured I knew what you're talking about tone wise with this episode, and I feel just seeing your face, you were let down. Is this the state of Josiah at the moment?
Yep. Yes, it is. I was just kind of telling everyone my thoughts about the Night King and just what a disappointment he was in this episode. You know, I didn't have a problem with Arya being the one killing him necessarily, but we didn't get anything from him. He kind of walked around, raised some dead people, rode a dragon, stared into people's eyes, and then he got killed, and that was about it. They had a perfect setup for like at least some sort of fight between Jon Snow and the Night King. We didn't get that at all. I don't know. I was just really disappointed with what they did with him. I expected him to be way more formidable than he was. I mean, he was formidable. He kept on raising the dead, and that was obviously just overwhelming for everyone. Even though, for some reason, some of the characters like Bran and stuff were completely surrounded by the dead, like completely surrounded, like getting gangbanged pretty much, and still didn't get killed or anything, which was really weird.
I never expected that word to come from proper white boy Christian Josiah. This is a Christian channel.
I'm full of surprises.
Dropping bombs on me.
So I don't know. Those are kind of my thoughts about the Night King. But I'm interested to hear what you have to say about the Night King.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Salty Nerd. He's sort of tangential with the Senate. He's sometimes on there, sometimes not.
Yeah.
just because of work. And he loves Game of Thrones, of course. And even though he's part of the Phantom Menace, he's usually more of a Bindu, if you will. Like, I'm kind of trying to shift my channel, although I've always been a thinker, I guess, of like, what can I find good out of a product I hate? Like Last Jedi. I've
Sure.
said from the beginning when I started, I like X things from Elements.
Yeah.
And that's how I try to approach stuff. But yeah, like this whole thing was set up like, you know, we're 3 seasons away from the end, 3 episodes away from the end, and you would think they would have shown more backstory at least to the Night King or something. Or I thought maybe Bran would figure out how to warg his dragon or warg John's dragon, or maybe he would warg the dragon to save himself, or even doing it to Theon so maybe he could fight better, like something.
Yeah.
Nope, Theon's just killed off and faces his death. There's like a sentiment there that's nice, but it's like, really? You had Theon of all people, who's always been kind of weak, run at the Night King and just get pwned. I didn't feel like the emotion they were probably trying to make us feel out of that. I felt like, oh man, you could have gave him a better death, especially with you've kept him alive this whole time. No, he was formidable as opposed to Snoke, but I do agree there is some less Jedi tones here with delivery from expectation, where it's like, oh, you thought you were going to have Night King and John fight? No, we'll have him get swarmed by the dead. And the way the Night King just took the fire from the dragon, you think he would have the balls to just one-on-one against John instead of lifting the dead? Like, he could have done it afterwards, or I don't know. And the fact that there was only in this episode like 3 noteworthy deaths.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could say a couple more. Like, there's Lady Mormont, there's Jorah, Theon. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else of
yeah, there was what's her name? The
Melisandre and Don Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were always, she came out of nowhere, which I didn't mind necessarily because she got chased off, but I don't know what. There's no backstory about what made her come back.
Yeah. It was kind of random.
I was hoping there'd be some, like, I always expected this show to kind of legitimize the Lord of Light as like a one true God type of thing, or a true God in this universe. Especially with like the ultimate, kind of Black Plague allegory with the Night King and death. I really thought they were going to use the mythology to boost it up to epic level, and they haven't, and
yeah.
I don't know. Plus the visuals, half the time, like I was watching my phone, so
oh my gosh,
I thought it might just been myself, but I was watching my phone, just like I'm trying to shift it different ways. Like, is it my phone? I got an iPhone. It should be pretty good quality. It was just all the way around. The fact you didn't have John at least face the Night King in some actual duel, that was a disservice. I thought his dragon was dead the whole time, and then they show in the next episode, oh, there's 2 dragons still. So I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess I expected something way more crazy to happen in this episode. Something that was just going to be just blow our socks off, kind of like how we're used to Game of Thrones being in past seasons. And there wasn't really anything that really just completely like dropped my jaw or anything like that happened in this episode. Besides Arya appearing out of nowhere and killing the Night King, but that was pretty much the only thing really that like. And even that, it didn't like blow my mind. It wasn't like a epic new twist that came out of nowhere or anything like that necessarily.
Yeah, I know Arya isn't a Mary Sue character.
No,
but
not at all.
I gotta say, I felt some Mary Sue qualities in the build-up when in the execution with that, especially for the Night King of all people to just get pwned by you could say it's arrogance or something, but he's like this entity as opposed to just a person. He's an entity of sorts. He has control over weather and death and everything, and to just get pwned by some girl who trained with assassin for a while and drops her knife like Ray. It's like, God, this is awful. Especially with the White Walkers around. Like, why does he have bodyguards?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I totally agree with you. The episode was way too dark, especially in the beginning. Like, I kept on like, squinting at the TV and like, why is it so dark? Is there something? Did my TV break or something, or what's going on? I can't see anything. I thought I was actually turning into legitimate blind Josiah for a minute there, but but yeah, it was I don't know why it had to be that dark. It was, I mean, sure, I get that they were kind of trying to set a mood and stuff, and I can kind of understand why it was so dark, kind of for the first few minutes, because it kind of did help with the tension, but then like it just continued to be that dark. It's like, wow, you guys need to do something here because this is just way too dark. I can't see anything that's happening.
Yeah, the reason I brought up Salty Nerd, I didn't finish. I didn't follow through with that. He shared a post from Bounty into Comics where it's like, this episode is Game of Thrones or Last Jedi levels bad, and his response like, get that out of here. And he one of his things that he posted about how he felt, he's like, yeah, sleeping on it, I like it more than I did initially, and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's not the same, but I'm really getting Last Jedi vibes from you, dude. From your like response, you're like making it make sense, or oh yeah, I was expecting things, and that's okay that they didn't do anything I expected. I'm like, ah, oh, come on, guy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, I like I said, I just wanted at least something really drastic to happen in this episode. Something that was really going to shake things up, and nothing like that happened. Um, I mean, we kind of, I don't know. If you didn't really expect the Night King was going to die this episode, then I don't know what you were thinking. But like I we should have at least had like some really major character die, like not just, Theon's not necessarily a side character, but he's definitely not near as important as a lot of the characters are in the show. Um, so I feel like we should have had, you know, someone die at least that was way more of significance, and that didn't happen. It was just really weird, like seeing how everyone was was just surrounded by the dead. Like Brienne was like pinned up against a wall, surrounded by the dead, and all the other characters were as well and stuff. I thought Grey Worm was gonna bite it, but he, I guess, survived. And it was like, how are these people still alive after this? And I will say this about the episode: it did a really good job. Like right after the Night King raised all the other people that were dead, raised all of them to join in the fight. At that moment, I actually started to think, wow, okay, I mean, how are they going to get out of this? How are they going to survive this right now? It felt like for a couple minutes there that everyone was going to die. It really, really did. I actually was starting to think, are they actually going to like kill everyone right now? Because it was just that it was really well done for a couple minutes there after he raised so many people from the dead, and then no one died, nothing happened.
Yeah, it's like it definitely reminds me of like the Leia scene in episode 8, where it's like, oh no, Daenerys, she's off her dragon, she's never really fought before, she's like desperate with the random sword. Oh, okay, yeah, she lives, she's got Jorah to keep taking stabs from everyone.
Yeah,
And she didn't even kiss him, she didn't give him a kiss in death, I thought they were going to at least reward his plot line of love for her with
mm-hmm.
at least one kiss in death, even if he's not alive to know it, that she just would be aware enough of his devotion to at least give him that, afterthought. They
Yeah,
did do that. They didn't, it's not that Arya, it's not that a woman or woman chick, whatever character killed the Night King. It's, it's like she has no connection. Jon has the most, or Daenerys, given her, being the bringer of dragons again, essentially resurrecting them from their past lost existence. So those two had like the most to give the audience emotionally, I think.
yeah,
If you would have jeopardized Jon and then had Arya do the same thing, or like, I don't know, shoot him with a harpoon of dragon glass or something, or
mm-hmm.
I don't know, Bran of all people falls over in his chair and just touches like his foot with some dragon glass and shatters him, like something like that. Or if he became the big MacGuffin of like, we got to kill him, and then it turns out, oh crap, killing him does not destroy everyone else, you know. So then it's like they put all their eggs in this basket for no reason, and they're still swarmed, you know. That
Yeah.
would have been a good subversion, but just I don't know. Maybe they just got so lost in the sauce with trying to surprise us that they just gave us a dud. I do appreciate the change ups of battle sequences, big and small, in different areas of the battle, and the scope and the color scheme. That was good. That they kept you engaged for most of it. I mean, I don't think we'd be as pissed as we were if they just gave us one long boring fight. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they did really well and just dropped the ball on the final emotional parts of like who's really attached to Liana or whatever Mormont. She's been around in a few episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jorah kind of, but he's kind of lost it by being a traitor to some degree. So it's just like you had to kill Brienne or Jaime or Daenerys. Have some balls, and I
Yeah.
feel like they didn't so far.
Exactly. Especially after House. I didn't have any problem with the first two episodes, but they were kind of slower episodes that not a whole lot really happened. I kind of wanted something really crazy to happen with this episode. um, and it just didn't really seem like anything really did. And I didn't have a problem with Arya being the one that killed the Night King. I just wish that we could have seen the Night King at least fighting Jon Snow or doing something like that before the episode ended. I thought that what we got of the dragon fight was pretty cool. I thought that was something that I've been wanting to see for a while now in the show. So that was cool getting to see some of that. Um, Let me think. I thought that the tension leading up to the fight was really good. I thought they did a really good job with that, especially when the Dothraki were fighting and you saw the lights going out and stuff. Like I thought that was just really cool to see.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the Dothraki. I was hoping they would get pwned in a fight with the men in armor, like Jorah kind of explained somewhere. It's like, oh yeah, we ride on horses. We got these big arcs, whatever, swords. And he's like, well, yeah, but there's a time and place for armor, And
Yeah.
I wish they would have showed up at least once against like Cersei's army before that. Oh, dang it! It's gonna come back to me, but there's one point. Oh, okay. The one thing I loved the most, and it stuck out to me, just like Podrick's song, the episode before, and the music before they blew up the Sept in I think season 6 or the end of season 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the music leading up with like the Night King going through the place and stuff. Like just
Mm-hmm.
it. I think it was another piano song. It's like piano's foreign really to the orchestration of music with Game of Thrones, unless it's a movement like this. They want it to really stand out, and it did. It felt like I still don't know the emotion I had with that music, but it was different. It wasn't like Endgame for me, where I'm like, oh god, this is happening, and I was crying multiple times.
Yeah.
But I did feel an emotion with that song that could probably be in the same realm. So I'll still have to process that. Maybe I'll watch it again tonight after I finish Terminator 2, which I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Mark 115 says, so much for studying Helm's Deep. This wasn't even near Tolkien Jackson, not even by a fraction. Shaky cam and boring shots. So, how do you feel this compared to Helm's Deep?
Ooh, yeah, I don't know. I think they captured the scope a lot better with Helm's Deep, even though it's like theoretically a lot less people fighting. Like they utilized the storm, I think, to really hide more work as far as like animating characters, perhaps for the White Army.
Yeah.
I mean, they cut it up with more characters that mattered. There's with Lord of the Rings, there's only like I don't know 10 characters you really care about throughout. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
difference
Yep.
there, I guess, but kind of equal opposite. My biggest thing with Arya is that it's derivative. There's when they had the army line up in the snow, when they like came to Winterfell area, the last episode, it's like, oh crap, and it resembled, it harkened back to Lord of the Rings. But having Arya kill the Night King is just Aowen killing the Witch King. Like, yeah, she's had more story and background, but to me it feels the same. So it's like this is really derivative, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Derek Raju says, I haven't watched any Game of Thrones. Should I read the books? Would that be a better option? I haven't read the books. Have you read the books, Black Angus?
Yeah, when I was in Afghanistan, I read 1 through 4. I didn't get 5 through a care package because I thought I would be home before I finished it, but then I burned through 4 and I'm like, crap, now it's actually too late to worry about getting it in a package here in America, but I'm wanting Game of Thrones. And I didn't think to look at for like PDF or whatever because I was never an electronic guy as far as reading or anything. I probably should have, so I still have not read 5, but yeah, they're really good. The reason I love Game of Thrones so much is those first 4 books, I guess the first 5 seasons, they really utilize the books well. Like Martin has a film background in, I think, screenplay writing or script writing.
Yeah.
And so he writes very cinematically. It translates perfectly. You know, like when you watch, I didn't grow up reading Harry Potter, but I've watched them. So I read the first book and I'm like, now I see why people love this first movie. You know, it really, you know, reading the book helps me love the movie. But afterwards, you know, they lose more and more from the books. But so far, the show has kept up with them, and I think they've worked pretty well with Martin. You know, people can complain with the writing or whatever after the books are done for the show, but they've been working with Martin this whole time, and he, like, you know, talked to them and cleared them. He found them worthy to make this show. So
yeah, yep.
If you got a beef with D&D, you got a beef with Martin, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm just grabbing your channel here. I'm gonna drop your channel in the chat real quick here.
Yeah, thanks. When I mute, it's because I'm dressed. I just got my boots on. I'll be driving, but I'm on my way to work.
Okay.
Not a problem there. I can still hang out, of course, as long as this goes. But just that'll be why I'm muted.
Okay. Yeah. As far as what I thought about this compared to Helm's Deep, I don't know what it was about this episode, but it just didn't really pull me in emotionally the same way that Helm's Deep did. It didn't really even feel like that there wasn't as much of an epic skill to it. There wasn't didn't really feel like it really tracked very well with the characters besides Arya and maybe John every once in a while. But Arya it felt like was definitely the highlight of this episode in a lot of ways. I thought that the scene with her in the library or wherever that was, where she was trying to avoid the White Walkers, was probably the best scene of this episode. I thought that was super super well done, really really intense, and so that was really 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 good. But besides Arya, it didn't really feel like that it really followed the emotional arc of. There wasn't really an emotional arc to this battle in the same way that there was with Helm's Deep or anything. And the nice thing about Helm's Deep is that you could actually see what was going on too. So that was nice as well.
Yeah. I mean, Helm's Deep definitely has like a dark blue color palette, blue and gray and black, but you know, they lit it well enough where I could see, and you know, it works too with like the Urukai being like with the rain, it helps you you know, catch light off of that as well.
Right.
I wonder if they did that just to like bring in more light in this on the screen. Don't know, but I pick up on that. Yeah, the fact that, you know, yeah, it really, you know, at times you got the scope of like, holy shit, they're about to get swarmed, but then it's like they're not. I remember watching Bandit Incorporated's plan about how to beat the Night King, and he made a joke essentially saying like, well, I would shoot the dragon in the butthole with dragon glass arrow because it's softer skin. He was talking about non-magical ways to win. And the other one he said was to bait them in to swarm like World War Z, like they did the wall, let them fill up one section, but have it like dug out or like trenches dug out where they have to keep filling each trench as well as filling up each section, and like have the dragon just burn each section. I think they really underutilized the dragons. I get that, you know, they were trying to like tag team the Night King, but I think they should have focused on the White Army more, at least on the walls. And
Yeah.
it was chaotic though, and watching the behind the scene thing that made sense to me, because it's like, all right, all the riders are dead, and now she's just going to jeopardize her dragon, but then it made sense that, it's her emotional state with the Dothraki. So I'm like, oh, okay, I get that now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't conveyed clearly. I thought it was just her being impatient.
Yeah. Let's see. Mirror Jeremy says, just imagine if the Night King bent the knee to Bran. Now that would have blown my mind. That would have been amazing, and I would have freaked out if that happened. And that totally would have made up for the whole episode for me, for sure. But I was really like, Bran is driving me crazy. Bran is absolutely just driving me insane. I want to know what is up with this dude. In the middle of the fight, he looks at Theon, he's like, I'm going now. And then he just disappears, apparently as a crow or something. Disappears for like almost the entire episode. Then he comes back and he says, you're a good man, Theon. And then watches Theon get slaughtered. And that was about it. But like, what was he doing? Why was he gone for so long? What is up with this guy? There's something up with Bran, and it's driving me crazy, and I want to know what it is. And that was actually probably the highlight of this episode for me, is the mystery of Bran, is just like wondering what is up with this dude. There has to be something important about this guy. There has to be something that's going to happen sometime in the show. And if there's nothing that happens with Bran in the show that's gonna blow our socks off, then I'm gonna be really pissed about that. So they better be building up to something with Bran. Because if they aren't, if they're just, I don't know what else they would be doing. Like if they're just teasing us and then just to drop us off a cliff later on in the show, then man, that's gonna be rough.
I feel totally. I know Drunk's here.
Hey, Drunk, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
I totally feel sideswiped by this episode. It's like you and me both last week. We were just defending D&D for the slow burn episode 1 and 2. Like, hey, it's going to pay off, dude. You're gonna have this crazy fight, and in a lot of ways it was. Filming wise, just by itself, I totally get this was hectic, but I'm going to be critical because they really hyped us up. They're like, oh, Battle of Bastards. Well, this was filmed for 50 nights, by itself. I'm not feeling the payoff. So
Nope.
So I'm going to be critical, but I am still, I said it because we have hot takes as critics to whatever degree, and people see it on Twitter and they might think, oh man, now I'm just going to not watch Game of Thrones. So I was clear to say, still like Game of Thrones, but I'm really, really underwhelmed and pissed off.
Yeah. And it would have been totally different if this episode had been a really awesome payoff for the first 2 episodes of this season. And it just wasn't really a good payoff. And because of that, it just feels like this entire season is just not really going anywhere yet. So, Drunk3PO, are you there?
I'm here, listening.
You sound like you're in a cave.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you in
now? Is that better?
Are you in your other studio, Drunk?
Is this better? Hold on one second. Let me fix this.
You sound like you're in a
all right, how about now?
No, you still sound like a closet in like a cathedral. It's like very tall.
Hold on, let me come right back in.
But yeah, like I guess the big question for me now after this episode is what is Bran's deal? Like do you have any theories about Bran, Black Angus? Do you have any theories at all of what could be happening?
How about now? Is that better?
I'm hoping it ends up like he's the Night King or something. I was gonna say Drunk King.
Does that sound better?
You still sound like you're in a cathedral ready for mass, but yeah.
Yeah, I really hope Bran ends up being, maybe there'll be a really good emotional payoff, but they haven't built it between Jon and Bran that much, If he ends up being like the actual problem, if it's not Daenerys and like Jon has to decide if he's gonna kill him or not, or join him. They haven't given you any background to feel one way or the other about any direction with him, really,
Yeah.
And it's like,
This has got to be better. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Angus, didn't mean to cut you, buddy.
No, you're good. But yeah, they're really biding their time now, and this might be an equal and opposite to The Last Jedi in the sense of, it won't be as bad as Last Jedi, I don't think, but the expectation and then the payout, it's definitely, I don't know.
Yeah, this season still has the potential to give us a really, really amazing payoff that will make up for this first half of the season. But I'm just, I'm kind of starting to lose faith. I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith. I really am. I feel like they're just not taking risks anymore. I feel like the storytelling isn't as clever as it was in the first handful of seasons of Game of Thrones. I just feel like it's lost its flair a lot of ways. What are your thoughts about the episode last night, Drunk3PO?
It was extremely dark. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Even though I have a giant man-sized 75-inch 4K television set with all the trimmings, it still looked like a black hole I was watching. So that kind of messed me up a little bit. Yeah, not to brag. I'm just kidding. But
yeah, we get it.
I thought so. My little breakdown is, I thought the opening scene when they lit all the swords and they ran into the darkness and they started disappearing, I thought that was kind of cool, actually. And I didn't expect. I think Battle of the Bastards was probably my favorite battle. Is that the one where Jon Snow was standing and like all those horses were coming at him and he looked like he was like, that's the Battle of the Bastards, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is my all-time. That is one of my all-time favorite cinematic moments I think I have ever seen. Like that was absolutely incredible. Those like 10 seconds where he like pulls his sword out and there's like 100 horses running around. I was like, holy crap. Yep. So I kind of figured they're not going to do anything that good because I don't know how you could top that. It just was really dark. Like I didn't like how they filmed it, and then I didn't mind how the king died, how the Snow King died, what I call him. I didn't mind that so much. But I agree with you, Josiah. Like, why was he so interested?
Yeah.
In the young guy that could turn into crows,
Yeah.
Why did he want to touch him for? What did he want from him? Like, I thought we were going to get something out of it, and then it was kind of like a letdown.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I thought we were going to have like this kid could unlock like the mysteries of the universe and all this stuff. And I thought Jon Snow was going to kill the dragon. I was like, that would have been cool. And then it was just kind of like, oh, but like the whole time I'm watching, I'm just waiting for like people to die. So I'm just sitting here like, okay, is this their last moment? I can't see them, but is this their last moment?
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of was with the whole thing. I was just kind of, I didn't mind Ari. I really didn't mind her killing. I really didn't.
Yeah.
But it was, I could see where it was kind of let down and just kind of like, it was just so dark.
Yeah. Like
I didn't like that. I didn't like the dark. Like it was like really dark.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. And I mean, for the first few minutes, I didn't really mind it because I thought that was kind of how they were trying to build the tension. But then it just kept on being like dark throughout the entire episode, and it was really annoying. It was super annoying. Yeah, and like I agree with you. I didn't mind the fact that Arya was the one that killed the Night King. I thought that was a really cool twist. And it was a nice payoff for her training over all of these episodes or all of these seasons and stuff. The thing that I didn't like was the fact that we never really saw the Night King do anything super intimidating or super awesome or anything. Like the only thing he ever really did was raise more dead people. We've already seen him do that, so it's not like that was anything new. We needed to see the Night King do something else that would have like made us go, oh snap, this guy is means business, and we just never had that moment.
He just kind of walked around and like he didn't do anything. Like his biggest moment was throwing the spear, his little icicle that he pulled off the barn. He threw it into the first dragon, many episodes ago, and I was like, that was pretty cool. And then this time, and then him walking through the fire, I was like, okay, they made him a little Thanos like, if I do dare say that, but that was short lived. So
yeah, it's funny because I think I said this with Josiah last week. I was like, dude, watch him, like, think they can burn him, and they're not going to, because they hinted at that when he killed the three-eyed raven. He walks through the fire.
Right.
Or he had like the magic to like dissipate it around his body. So I was when she's like Dracarys, and she's just all like, yeah, I burned this guy. I'm like, no. And they just kept sitting there, and I'm like waiting for the fire to die. I'm like, yeah, he's still there. Especially if you just pay attention to film and like, why are people here at this place? Why do they keep filming this? Like, it kind of gets obvious, and that was definitely a letdown the way they filmed it. They should have like let you think, all right, he's gone, and then she flies off, and it's like, oh shit, he's actually still here.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think about Bran, Drunk3PO? I mean, it kind of like showed him, it kind of showed him towards the beginning of the episode, and he was like hanging out with Theon, and then he said, I'm leaving now, or something like that. And then he takes off, he wargs into a crow or something like that, and then he flies off, and he's gone for almost the entire episode. And then he comes back. What was he doing? Why did he do that? It never explained anything. What he was doing.
I know, and
episode. And then the Night King walks up to him at the end, and there's like a look in his eye, like he was looking at Bran, like he was someone of significance or something. And they didn't.
But Bran said that. Bran said that in the early episode. He goes, "He's just coming for me. Like he's coming," and I'm kind of like, "Okay, why?"
Yeah.
Like, what's why? What are we coming for? And now, if this was Bran's moment and now it's over, is it gonna be like, okay, well, that's it? Boy, what a buzzkill that's gonna be.
If that's the case, I will be so mad. I will be absolutely enraged by that.
Yeah, that will suck. I mean, that's just like taking it. That's the one thing that I feared, is that they built up these characters, and you get invested, and you stay up late when you got to get up early because you don't want to miss it, and and then all of a sudden at the end of it all, the characters don't matter.
Yeah.
So then it's like, I just spent like 5 years of my life invested in a character, and then that's it? Nothing? How could you do that to me? Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Hey, Josiah, the one thing I want to offer, do you think Martin is actually writing the books a little different than the show? Like we can have two different paths to read, where it's like, do I want to watch the show and think this universe has an end, or do I want to read the books and it's continuous until like season 5, and then the path is completely different?
I mean, I think Martin's gonna do something completely different with the books. From what I've heard, he's already gone in quite a bit of a drastic different direction than the show has in his books and stuff. So, I don't think the ending for the books will be anything like the show. And that's just going off of what I've heard from talking to people like Gary from Neurotic and stuff, and he's read the books and stuff, and he says that the books are, by the end, are quite a bit different than the show is. So yeah, I don't think the ending's going to be similar at all.
Oh, go ahead, Angus. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just to add to that, like, I like the idea of two alternate storylines, but given that Martin is notorious, I guess, as a slow writer, and he's always lamenting, "Oh, Stephen King, how do you write so fast?" And then watch him like pump out the last book or two that's supposed to be part of the series right after the show's ended, where he's like, "All right, I looked on the internet, I read it. Everyone hates these, and these points. Now I fixed it in my book. There you go."
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I think in the chat, Mark, there's a guy named Mark that says Bran has nothing else to do now, and I agree. What does he get? Like, what? What is he gonna do? I mean, and I was thinking the White Walkers would be like almost the last episode. I honestly, my prediction was they were gonna force, Winterfell back, and everybody would just like run back.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would push the queen's hand to kind of be like, okay, well, I guess now we got to help them.
Right.
And then it would be like a big battle with a lot of like turns. Like the queen would be like, all right, we're going to fight, but when you get the opportunity, just kill Jon Snow, like just like a lot of little things like that would happen. And nope, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I guess there's going to be one more big fight for the throne at this point. But I mean, she's still got one dragon left. And, that could wipe out 110,000 people on its own. Well, I guess, I don't know. The dragon disappeared. So maybe I don't know where the dragon is.
They're both still alive. Yeah. It showed them in the next teaser for the next episode.
It did. I didn't see the teaser. I didn't see it.
Yep. So yeah, there wasn't even a dragon that died or anything this episode. So it's this episode was honestly pretty uneventful, all things considered, with everything that was going on, and it was just a big disappointment for sure. And I like that idea that you had of like them driving everyone kind of further south again from Winterfell. That would have been cool. I don't know. I just like what I was expecting was just something like one of the most insane things we've seen in the show to happen in last night's episode. Something that was, I mean, we only have 3 episodes left of this show. Like, I expected something really, really just game-changing to happen in last night's episode, because how are they going to tie everything up in the next 3 episodes if they didn't do something that was going to completely just flip the world upside down and stuff, and nothing like that happened. So yeah.
I don't know what to expect. I just expect one more, I guess, war. And then, people are going to have to choose sides, who's still alive.
Yeah.
On who they want. And then at the very end, who's going to sit on the throne? Is it going to be one of those, this is Game of Thrones, so we're going to put somebody up there that you least expect? Is it, I don't know. Like, I don't know. They're not going off the books anymore. So it's just kind of, well.
It feels like they're just kind of going paint by numbers now. Like, it doesn't feel like they're doing anything new with the show. Nothing that's unpredictable. It just, and I keep on setting up predictions that are really crazy for myself because that's what I'm used to from Game of Thrones. But I guess I need to start like thinking about this show like any other generic show now, and trying to figure out, okay, well, Jon Snow's probably going to end up on the throne, or Daenerys or something, and that's going to be it. And so I don't know. That last night's episode was a big disappointment, and it really made me rethink how I feel about this season so far. So
I agree. I don't know what I mean, if the point was to really mess with our minds and be like what to expect next, I mean, I don't know.
mm-hmm.
It's just like I don't know what to expect. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So
yep. So I mean, something really crazy needs to happen in these next 3 episodes, or it's just going to be one. And they like I was telling Black Angus earlier, they could still make up for how slow and disappointing this season has been so far if they completely go off the walls in these last 3 episodes and just blow our minds with them. But I just don't feel like at this point that anything like that is going to happen. So.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, it's just gonna be. Do we know like are the last 3 episodes, are they gonna be like an hour and a half, an hour 40? Do we know anything like that?
I know that at least the next 2 episodes are going to be like hour 20-minute long episodes again. I think. I don't remember what the last episode is going to be. I can't remember if that's going to be like it's either going to be a 60-minute length episode or another hour 20-minute length. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I don't either. That'll be interesting. But I will say this: there wasn't some incredible memes and with Arya. Yeah. Even TNT basketball had Arya's head like on like some of these basketball players making the game-winning shot. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Didn't appreciate Ryan Johnson's tweet at all. Like that just shows he's just a turd, and with the whole thing. And so for whatever it's worth, that came out. But man, the weekend of the Starks, right? Weekend
Yeah,
of the Starks for
yeah,
sure.
for real.
3PO, you say that about Ryan Johnson. It's just making
Well,
me
you got to
think.
speak up. You got to speak up, Angus. I can barely hear you.
Sorry, I'm driving to work.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah, like you mentioning Ryan Johnson and his whole expectation thing tweet, or I saw. This puts a damper on our anticipation, I would say, as Star Wars fans, because we were like, all right, Game of Thrones writers getting a Star Wars trilogy. Then we find out it's a trilogy intersected with the Ryan Johnson trilogy. And, they're writing a kind of Last Jedi level type episode of expectation versus what you get. It's making me less and less excited.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I'm not excited for anything Star Wars, so it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. They showed their true colors, and it's just kind of like whatever. So with Star Wars, anyway. So that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Let's see here. Next episode is supposed to be 78 minutes long, and then the final 2 episodes are 80 minutes each. So they're all pretty long episodes. So
Who you got sitting on the Iron Throne? Who you got?
right now I'm just gonna think that it's Jon Snow, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty much I don't know, that just seems like where they're going. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think it'll be a Stark. I don't know if it's John, but I think it'll be a Stark.
I'm gonna go with Arya, given where she's gone now with her plot. She's always wanted to be a boy as far as responsibility in this universe, and her father tried to steer her from that to be more like Sansa, to be a lady, to be a princess. She's never wanted that, but then she's kind of had to learn the hard way what it means to actually fight like a boy and stuff, just like Brienne has. And given that she wants to kill the queen still, I wouldn't be surprised if they went that way, because I said it. I did say this, I think, with Josiah. The saying "all men must die." I thought I didn't think it'd be with the Night King, but I thought there'd be a twist where it'd be like, oh, it's a woman leading, whether it's Daenerys or Arya or Cersei. They're gonna make it a woman just because of like the saying, and it'll kind of echo Aowen versus the Witch King in a very large way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Alex McCarthy said Arya came out of nowhere like some sort of X-Men ninja, and it was awesome. That was a really cool moment. It really was. It really was. And at first, when the Night King grabbed Arya, I thought that maybe he was gonna kill Arya for a second there. But then she pulled a Ray trick on him and was able to stab him in the gut. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought Arya was done for. I think she she had her sexual moment the day before, so it was kind of like, all right, she got it all out. So maybe the writers were like, no, man, she wants more of her boyfriend, so she ain't going out like that. So it's she ain't going out like that, and that's how that is. I don't know if Arya will sit on the throne because now that she has her moment, but I do think she might kill the queen if she gets a hold of Jaime's face, if he goes.
True.
Or somebody's face. She still has that power. But who knows? It looked like the oh my gosh, the name just left me. Our best little our little dwarf guy. Oh god,
Tyrion?
give me his name. Yes. It looks like the little love interest might have kicked up a little bit.
Yeah.
His wife.
Yeah.
Him and his wife might have. How did I forget his name? Good gosh.
Yeah.
Just one of those days.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty crazy moment too. When the dead started to come out in the crypt and stuff, I was like, "Oh man, that's not good." I thought that was really cool, and I thought that they were going to be leading into like them seeing like Ned Stark or something. Like, I thought that would be really cool. Down in the crypt.
Yeah, at least there was light down there.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah. At least you at least you can see things. Yeah, for sure. Justin Bass gave a $5 super chat. More payoff deaths at King's Landing when you think about it. Even the dragon with the bow, the hound in the mountain, obviously Starks and Lannisters. And you might be right about that, Justin. Maybe they're just kind of saving everything for these final 3 episodes, and everything's just gonna be absolutely insane with these last 3 episodes, and that's definitely a possibility. And if that's the case, then I am definitely willing to take back any of the negative things that I said about this show. Going in a generic safe direction or something. So
what? Who's still alive? Who died in this episode? That
Jorah
yeah,
died. Um,
right,
Melisandre died.
yeah,
Oh, what's Theon
but
died.
not none of the huge players died.
No big players died.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's a big player. I love all the characters. The little girl and that stabbed the giant.
Yeah,
I'm terrible with names, but you know what I'm talking
I
about. And
don't
like
I don't
all,
remember her name either. So
yeah, like I loved her character. And then, but they all had their little moment, but none of the big dogs ate it, which I was a
yeah,
little shocked.
yep.
They teased it though. They definitely teased that people like this is it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Yeah,
mean, I guess in the one scene, Jon Snow, it looked like he didn't want to help anybody. He was going straight for the dragon. He was looking around and seeing people almost getting defeated, but
yeah,
he just marched. He wanted the dragon, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be awesome, but it kind of wasn't.
yeah,
So,
exactly. And when all the dead were like on Drogon and they were like stabbing him and stuff, I thought that maybe they were going to kill Drogon there too.
yes,
But
exactly.
that would have been crazy if they actually killed another one of the dragons. Um, but thank you for that super chat, Justin. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Let's see here. Arya will be in the next Mission Impossible movie. Are you saying
Dude,
Arya as the character? As a
yeah.
joke? I think that's what you're saying. That'd be funny. Um,
If she lives, I wouldn't mind a spin-off series with her
yeah,
because they've
yeah,
really turned her into like an awesome
yeah.
character.
She's an absolute badass for sure.
Yeah, she would I wouldn't mind a little spin-off if like I don't know how they would do that, but if she
Yeah,
lives, she could go after I don't know, she's in charge of security and's got to go out and
she kind
and
of
assassinate people and stuff and finds
yeah,
herself in situations, but
yeah. She was really irritating to me in the first couple seasons. Like I really did not like Arya that much at all. But she's become one of my favorites for sure. Um, let's see, because of her ability to use face masks. That's true. That's true. That would fit right into the Mission Impossible story. Um, let's see. Uh,
yeah,
Jorah.
Mark says, "Oh, go ahead, Josiah, sorry."
I was just gonna say. Let's see. Jorah, Beric, Theon, Lyanna, and Sam was the last seen under a pile of the dead. We have not seen him since he may have died before Arya killed the Night King.
Ah.
That's true. I can't remember. Did they show him the teaser for episode 4? I can't remember now if they did or not.
I didn't see the teaser.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that. Let's see here. Also, Arya's Resident Evil moment with the blood dripping and the White Walkers turning into literally zombies because reasons annoy the hell out of me as well. That was actually one of my favorite scenes of the episode last night. Was the scene with Arya and the White Walkers in the library.
Yes.
That was a super intense scene.
Yes.
So that was
I was thinking someone's about to go.
yeah. Yeah, I was that was a really really well done scene. That they did a perfect job with the tension of that scene. So I thought they did a good job with that.
I agree. That was filmed beautifully.
Yeah,
That was filmed beautifully. Thought someone was about to die. And that was the thing that maybe that's what the effect they were trying to get on this episode was they're teasing like your favorite person is about to go and you're just waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Um, and it's the king who goes. So
yeah, yeah. So So you haven't seen the teaser for the next episode, you said, right?
I
Drunk
have
3PO?
not. I didn't even. Do they drop it at the end of the episode?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I went right to bed. So, as a good teacher, I have to get up early. So I was just holding on. Killed the Night King, and I'm like, okay, the credits roll, and I'm like, I'm rolling into bed. I didn't even stay for the teaser.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that they showed the dragons in the teaser trailer.
Yeah. Yep. And for a moment, I thought that Rhaegal was dead because they showed him like tumbling to the ground and stuff, and John falling off of him. So I thought that he was gone for a bit there, but
Mm,
I guess he wasn't. It would have been really crazy if they killed both of the dragons in this episode. And I thought that they were going to for a bit. When after Rhaegal fell to the ground, I was like, "Man, is that it for Rhaegal?" And then all the dead were
yeah.
stabbing Drogon, and I was like, "Wow, if they kill all three, if they kill the remaining two dragons of this episode, that'd be crazy. That would have been awesome." That'd
Yeah,
be,
so in the chat here, I'm reading a lot of people talking about the giant let the little girl stab him instead of crushing her instantly. Yeah, that is true. That was we're gonna give this little kid her moment
yeah,
to go out with a bang, but then she comes back to life and then she gets blown up again. Like it didn't take long
yeah,
when the
yeah,
king was stabbed. I thought that was a pretty surreal moment when the king stood over all the dead bodies and rose them back up. So
yeah,
they had to refight everybody that died again.
yeah,
So I was like, watching, I'm like, holy crap, there's no way they're gonna win. And I'm just thinking that, you're waiting for that scene in most movies where there's a surprise, where people will just show up at the last second to save everybody,
yeah.
or they just figure out how to get out as quick as possible. And
Mhm.
that's where I thought it was going. So that once he raised those people back from the dead to recreate his army, I was like, man, that's it. So did you think Jon Snow was going after the king initially when he was just kind of wading through the war inside the castle, inside of Winterfell?
I think so. It was kind of weird because he and Daenerys were trying to for a while there, like John was just like sitting on the wall on the dragon, just kind of watching everything that was happening.
Right.
And I was like, what are you doing, John? And then he took off to go after the Night King with Daenerys. So I guess he was I guess Daenerys and him, their mission was probably to just try to kill the Night King. That's my guess
Yes.
throughout this episode.
Yes, I think so. I also, what was also weird was the Hound. His attitude, never really seen him defeated like that.
Yeah, yeah, that
Like
was
usually he's like, I don't care, I'm gonna die, so whatever. And now he's just like, we can't beat him, so
yeah, and that was really cool how they showed like him, being inspired by Arya to kind of pick himself up and continue with the fight. I thought that was really
yes,
cool.
Arya brings him back from
Yeah.
his depression state of whatever. But that was really weird that they wrote him in one of the biggest battles, where he usually doesn't care if he dies,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, we're gonna die. It was just a really weird moment for me to see that. I didn't know how to accept that because that is not his normal character. And if I'm wrong, someone correct me, because
Yeah, I
usually
was going to correct you, Drunk. He actually, when he defected from King's Landing and the Baratheon Lannister army or defense of Joffrey and stuff, it was, I think, season 2 or 3 with the Battle of the Blackwater when he got confronted with all that fire and it
Mhm.
just set him off. So we haven't seen it in a long time. We've seen hints of it with when he fought like Don Derek, whatever that guy's name is, the flaming sword guy that died this episode. Yeah, you've seen hints of it after that, but yeah, he does have like that trauma from fire, so it really gets in his head, depending how large it is. So that wasn't unfounded. This is why I thought it was interesting when people were like freaking out about her sleeping with Gendry. It's like I always felt that I didn't really think she'd come across Gendry again, but her and the Hound had a chemistry, even though it was like a huge, size and age gap.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm grabbing the link to your channel right now, Drunk3PO, and I'll drop that.
Oh no, you don't. It's just a joke. You don't have to do that, bro.
Oh no! I got your hint. I got your hint.
Well, hey, people, come over to my channel. I'm 15 away from 900. I've been working hard for a year now, so would appreciate it if you like my content. Then do subscribe. We just had an amazing interview with the Ahsoka fan film star Ray Kinnick.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really know anybody that was I mean, I knew a couple people, but I didn't really know too many of the people in your casting the Phantom Menace Game of Thrones style episode from today or from yesterday or whatever. I didn't really know too many of the people, but I still enjoyed the video and stuff. So
Oh, dude, you're gonna love episode 3. You're in it.
oh man,
It's
then,
the Geeks and
definitely
Gamers tier.
love it for sure. All right, so definitely go check out those guys. They're both awesome dudes, and they're doing great stuff with their channels. So,
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that YouTube email.
yeah,
You are not monetized. Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not either yet. I'm waiting on that email, and then we'll see how it goes.
I'm joking that would be your email.
Yeah. I'm reading the chat. I give Arya a hard 4. Why my women getting a lot of hate? Oh.
Let's see here. Yeah, if you guys want to drop some hot takes in the chat right now and stuff, then I'll read some of those. We'd love to
This will be fun
to hear what you guys have to say. I always love to hear what the chat has to say and their opinions and stuff. So, so is Bran's plan to just hang out looking at the fight from the sky? I know that's what's driving me crazy. What is Bran's deal?
Yeah, that's driving all of us crazy. He just went in, but he turned into a crow, and they just kind of looks like they just kind of flew away, and you're just like, what the?
Yeah,
I agree with you. It's just kind of like, you know, and then he looks up at the guy, and he's like, hey, you're a good guy. Go die now. It's time for you to die. You're a good guy.
He just watches Theon get slaughtered by the Night King.
Yeah, and then he looks. I just wish that whole thing just really messed with me because, yeah, when he brought, like I said, we had brought this up already. When he's like, the Night King wants me. He don't care about it. Well, why does he want you? Because you could see things. You could like, is he gonna absorb your power? Is like what are we looking at here? Tell me, explain. Nope, no explanation. And the king dies before anything can happen. And we're just kind of like, all right, Bran, your story's done.
I really hope not.
Good job. Holdo was your highlight. Hold the door.
So I really hope that they don't just end us on that. That will probably drive me crazy for the rest of my life if they do that. So
dude,
they better not do that.
Turn into Lost. You know what? Like, I've never seen Lost, but I know the gist of how it ends, where it's like, oh yeah, like stranded people, they're trying to get off, and then it ends up just being like a dream or something before everyone dies or whatever. Or they just botch the ending. I really feel like this could turn this way for us. You know, it's like, it's not even about expectations, because we all expect like, whatever version, even if my version is correct, it's probably really off from what actually happens. Everyone's expecting to not really be able to predict anything happening, but that being said, it's like you expect like some good stick to landing, and it's like, you know, you've been going since 2011. You've got everyone hooked. You've turned us to a pop icon, and now it's falling apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you guys haven't checked out Lost yet, I highly recommend it. It's a really good show. So,
but I think this episode could have been filmed in 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude, there were so many shots that were just dragged out for no reason. Like, I was just so bored through so many of the shots and stuff that were just shot after shot of really not showing anything happening, and
just people standing around.
Yeah, yeah. It was actually kind of driving me crazy a little bit.
I agree with you. I agree. I think the shock value of the king dying kind of set me up for like, oh my god, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
To once I listen to everyone's take and process it to, yeah, okay, this wasn't as good as what it should have been.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now I understand and now I could process it correctly and go, yeah, they could have done that in 30 minutes pretty easy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember last night watching it with my buddy and stuff, and I just like let out like a really bored sigh at one point, and he and I just kind of looked at each other and we're like, I wish something would happen. Like, this is just getting kind of boring. So
Darth Vicious said I could have shot this episode in a dark basement. Yeah, I agree. I hated that.
yeah,
I hated that I don't know why they thought that was good.
yeah,
Like, I get the effect of them riding off into the darkness with the light swords and the fire swords, and then okay, I get that. But once the dragons like set everything on fire, they could have turned the lights up a little bit
yeah.
so we could at least see what was going on.
Mighty,
So
Mighty Wolf said, I thought he was going to use the crows to bring someone awesome to help in the fight. And that's what I thought was going to happen, too. I thought that them showing Bran kind of warging into the crows and then flying off was like, there it was going to be kind of like a hint towards some sort of big twist towards the end where someone unexpected comes in and helps save the day or something. But nope. Nothing like that happened.
You know what they should have done with that, even if people might not like it or something, but they should have had an effect to some degree, at least with powerful animals, utilizing them like Avatar, when it's like all hope is lost in Avatar, all of a sudden nature responds against this threat.
Yeah.
They could have done something like that because Bran, they show like Bran's like a badass where he's like warging multiple creatures at once, and not just like a flock of the same animal, but like a swarm of forest creatures like mountain lions and bears and cool crap like that. Whatever, dire wolves. Oh my god, that'd be, especially being a Stark, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Did the wolf die?
I don't know. They never really showed
Jon Snow's wolf. He was there in the battle, and then you never really saw him again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Ghost. I don't know. Oh man,
So many questions.
so many questions. Alex McCarthy said Night King wanted to take Bran to the King's Landing ball. Guarantee it.
That's pretty good.
I like that. No. He wanted to go to Winter Ball.
He probably had like an ice slipper or something that he was going to try on Bran's foot and see if it fit. But
I do wish they had shown the Night King like going like samurai ninja, on some people instead of just kind of walking slowly.
yeah,
Like that seems to be his whole thing. They teased it all, like every time they just teased it over and over, and he just basically just walks.
Drunk. Here's the other problem I was telling Josiah before he came. What's the whites for? What's the White Walkers around him for? If not to be his bodyguard to let Arya kill him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
Jesus,
there's just a lot of standing around.
I agree with you, Angus. They didn't do anything.
The Night King's really good at just standing there and just staring at people, and that's like the highlight. Like you said, Drunk was the highlight for him was pretty much when he killed the dragon a couple of seasons ago or whatever, and that was pretty much the only really cool thing he ever did besides raise people from the dead. But that was about it. So
Yeah, because they teased him as such like unstoppable character. And yeah, we got a little tease of that when he was like walking through the fire like it was no big deal, but then it just he never really fought anybody.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a little that's a disappointing. Like I thought he would at least like could walk in the middle of the army and just, go ham a little bit and pull out an icicle sword and just kind of like go shred people up and at least a little something, but yeah, he didn't now that you think about it, he just kind of walked around and he wanted Bran so bad, and then we'll never know why.
Yeah.
Unless Bran knows and then he decides to tell us, but what could he possibly tell us now that would make us be like, oh, that was cool? There's really nothing Bran could say if they ask him, why did he want you so bad? And he just say, just so he could fly. I don't know. Like, what could he say?
Exactly.
What could Brand say that would be like, okay, that was awesome. We waited like 8 seasons for this.
Yeah.
Nothing. He really can't say anything now. You're right. I hear you, Josiah, like loud and clear. Like that's so correct.
When Bran said that he was going somewhere, I thought for a second that he was going to warg into the dragon that the Night King was riding, and was going to kind of take control of the dragon or something, because they keep on like teasing, and maybe it's just the crows. Maybe that's his big thing with being able to fly. But then they said something in one of the seasons, something about him going to be flying, or he was going to fly one day or something like that. I don't remember who said it. It might have been the other dude who was in the tree or whatever. I don't remember his name, but
Yeah.
But he said something like, "One day you will fly," or something like that, and that always kind of seemed to me like they were teasing towards Bran one day warging into a dragon.
Yeah.
And all he does is just fly around as crows, and it's like, is this it? Is this the big tease, the big setup here?
What
Yeah,
if what if Bran becomes the next Night King?
Now that would be awesome, and that would be insane.
You know, to keep the balance.
Yeah.
You know, now the walls broke, and then what if we find out in like 2 episodes Bran gets killed?
Yeah.
And then
Somebody said earlier in the chat something like, "What if the Night King, when he walked up to Bran, like dropped to one knee or something, like bowed his head, like he was in service to Bran or something?" Like that would have blown my mind. That would have been amazing.
That would have been a good twist.
That would have been really awesome.
I don't know that. See, to me, that wouldn't have worked though, because him grabbing him when he was warging, or using like his mind, whatever, he left the mark on Bran, so that's why he was finding him. The whole intent was to kill him, and plus you don't have the Children of the Forest anymore to turn Bran into what the Night King was. So it'd have to be some sort of like meta thing, like he'd have to somehow use the weirwood trees to do it to himself or something.
Right.
I really want something with the weirwood trees, like some deity, so like an old god or something, or the Lord of Light, whatever it is. I want something to show itself.
Yeah.
Because like I really thought the Lord of Light was key. I thought they're going to really tie us, like, all right, this religion is key to the story. The priests are key to the story, along with Daenerys being an entity of light, if you will, controlling the dragons to fight off death and the Night King and stuff. And they had Melisandre come, but that was really just like a plot device, really, for, in my opinion, with the flames twice over to make you think, oh, they're going to win. They got fire. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Night King's got, weather.
Yeah. I will say the one thing that I appreciated about this episode as well was the fact that they built some more tension into the conflict that I kind of think is probably going to be happening between Jon and Daenerys. Like when they were in the crypts, like Sansa was talking with Tyrion, I think, and was talking about how, like, she said something about like Daenerys or something about the Dragon Queen, and then what's her face? Daenerys's kind of like second-hand lady. I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
But she kind of like snapped back at Sansa and like walked off and stuff. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. They're still kind of playing out this tension between Jon and Daenerys.
Right.
And, Jon and Daenerys, they were kind of like on the cliff and they didn't really say anything to each other. It was kind of awkward, them standing next to each other and stuff. It's like, okay, I like the fact that they're still kind of building into that possible conflict a little bit. So I hope we get something with that. So
Interesting. That is very interesting. So do we think a Lannister will be on the throne? No, not even close, right? Lannisters are done, right?
I don't think it's going to be a Lannister. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be either Jon or Daenerys still. Those are kind of
So it'll be one of the two mains.
Yeah, I think so. Just because they're not. But again, they might pull something fast on us at the end of the season, and maybe they're just kind of like trying to play the predictable game a little bit just to kind of throw us all off for the end of the season. Maybe
It will be the dwarf. The dwarf finally gets the throne. It just messes everything up.
Drunk, what I've expected, and they kind of threw in a wrench in this right now, which is still interesting and intriguing. But I always thought they were going to subvert everything to some degree and make Sansa and Jon a couple, given the now that he's a Targaryen, and so like at first I thought that when they talked about the Targaryen thing being a divisive thing for him and Daenerys, I thought it might just be because of like Westeros custom, it's incest. And I didn't think he would go along with like the custom of it with in the Targaryen line, the idea of pure blood or whatever by incest. And so I thought maybe they would have Jon and Sansa together as a couple to unite the North and Seven Kingdoms if he takes the seat. I'd still be interested if they like, I don't know, were with them like 2 wives or something, Daenerys and Sansa. But yeah, like with the Song of Fire and Ice, I still don't think it's done. I do think it's a Jon versus Daenerys or Daenerys versus Sansa or something up like that because, I think, Daenerys is fire and Starks are ice. I think that's really what it boils down to.
Right.
Man, who knows? Who knows what they might? I think the Lannisters will probably have a showdown amongst themselves. Probably that could be something.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, what's the guy's name that has the army with the boats? He just slept with the queen the last episode.
It's Euron.
Yeah, that guy. Like, there's something. He's got to go, man. He's gonna die. So.
Well, you still got the Ironborn as well.
I know. My goodness.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff they still need to tie up, so it's gonna be crazy.
Thanks for helping me with the names, people in the chat. I'm like,
I'm
really bad at those medieval time names. So.
Oh man. So let's see here. I think Ruth is in the chat. Hey Ruth, thanks for being here. I think we'll probably kind of wrap up the Game of Thrones discussion now, unless you guys have anything else you want to add to it. I kind of wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on Avengers Endgame a little bit because we haven't talked about that yet.
Nice.
Yeah, just giving a spoiler warning here for anyone who hasn't seen Avengers Endgame. We might be talking about a little bit of spoilers here for that, so you guys might want to dip if you haven't, and if you are gonna leave, then thank you for sticking around. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for all of your support. Really means a lot to me. So let me just do something real quick here. Avengers Endgame discussion. Okay, just changing the title.
Yeah. It was really cool when Rogue came out and just took over Thanos' gauntlet. And then Charlie Cox from Daredevil, he showed up, and he represented
the Punisher. Man, that Punisher's the one that killed everybody.
I was
just went crazy and just threw grenades.
Oh, hey, yeah, you were saying something about being bored earlier, Josiah. Is there a bored Josiah? Is there a parody of that account?
Of what?
Bored Josiah?
Bored Josiah? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Someone needs to find a screenshot of you just looking at your screen dully, like blank face, and just boom, got bored Josiah right there. Someone make it. I didn't say retarded Josiah.
Thanks for sticking around, Mirror Jeremy. I hope you have a great night. All right. So Avengers Endgame. Let's hear what you guys have to say about it. Let's hear your thoughts about it. Let's start with Drunk3PO, and then we'll hear Black Angus's thoughts after that.
So I went to the theater, and I think the reason why my excitement level was super high and coming and going is because for whatever reason, the theater I went to was filled with people in full costume. I mean, I tweeted a couple pictures, full Spider-Man costumes, full Captain America costumes. Um, and when I got in the theater with my friends and I mean, the crowd was like, it was like going to watch WrestleMania. It was just electric, you know. It was crazy. So that actually helped me not process it in any kind of negative way, to be around so many people that loved this film and that cheered. Like, I mean, they cheered at everything. When Black Panther showed up, people screamed like Wakanda forever, and not like one person. Like the theater screamed like Wakanda, and it just made everything so enjoyable. And you know, the people um crying during the death scenes and stuff like that. I think the biggest roars were Captain America picking up the hammer, Iron Man snapping his finger at the end, and the biggest like shock moment for me was Black Widow. Like I was like, no way. Like I thought for sure Black Widow would be part of the next phase going forward. So
Yeah.
that really, like, that took me for wow. I was just kind of like, wow. Overall, for a 10-year tie-up movie that had tons of super fan service, because that's what I wanted. Honestly, that's just me personally. That wanted fan service. I gave it a 9.9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the time travel stuff probably plot hole. I mean, we could cut through that over and over and over, and I don't know, man. Just to see, it just felt good. The movie just felt good for me.
Yeah.
The way it tied up, and they figured out a way to have like a huge battle with every single character that we ever saw in every movie show up. I even like saw today that someone found Howard the Duck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like someone
Yeah.
found Howard the Duck in like a 30 second, like a half a second clip, like walking through one of the portals.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
for whatever it's worth. And I guess to me that was like the feel good fan service, what I wanted to see to
Yeah.
end it all out. So that was I enjoyed it. I have to watch it again. I think maybe the second time I'll be able to kind of observe the whole thing a little bit better. But it just felt like the theater that I was in, it felt like I was at WrestleMania. Like people were screaming, chanting, hot.
Mhm.
Like I couldn't even hear half the dialogue because people were just like clapping, standing up, like screaming. It was just, but it was beautiful. So
Yeah.
that was
Definitely.
me.
Yeah, I agree with you. There were definitely issues with the movie that I have, but overall, I love what they did with the film, and I think it's a for the most part, it's a really really good love letter to the past 11 years of the MCU. So, um, Black Angus, what are your thoughts?
Well, my rating is a little bit lower. It's 9.7. My reasoning is just the few cringe moments that clearly forced in there,
Mm-hmm.
given what we've gotten from the Russos. Clearly, those are forced things. Plus, just I'll never give a movie a perfect 10. Um, there's always something you don't know could be better, and
Sure.
so yeah. No, it was a really great send off, of course, for a lot of stuff. Um, Emotionally gratifying. Drunk3PO knows really detailed why, but I don't know if you know about that NERD story where he like trolled Brian Young and Ryan Johnson, all these Star Wars shills, pretending that he's changed his ways and he appreciates Last Jedi and stuff, and that he's going through hard times at home and whatnot.
No. Nope.
Yeah, it's like there's a catharsis with this film in a true way, like he was trolling people with The Last Jedi. So it's just, when we're doing spoilers, right? Just making sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So with Iron Man, once that happened and confirmed the spoilers I heard from EVS, it made me think, not just looking around at the environment I was in at the theater, but made me think of 11 years of my life. I haven't been a deep MCU kid until maybe Avengers, when I started actually kind of following it and being aware of this as a series. But when Iron Man came on DVD, I got it right away, and I loved it. Not really understanding comics or the series or anything that was building.
Yeah.
He's always been there. I loved Iron Man 2, especially being an AC/DC fan. That soundtrack and the promotion. Iron Man 3, I've only seen 3 times, but I've come back around to it and really love it for the character development for Stark. And he's never really lost any traction or changed tone that much through the series, despite having, I think I counted 6 directors have worked with his character.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, because there's a consistent overlord with Kevin Feige making sure there's a continuity.
Yeah.
Which is sad given where the MCU's going. A few things though with Black Widow, I've never really cared about her or Clint. They're just people, and I want to see, you know, spectacle superheroes and stuff. And I get the idea of like rooting the team with a few humans to relate to, but it just, you know, I like how they manage Clint in this battle where it's like, yeah, you're just a dumb human. Just we'll take you out really quick. But with Natasha, I think it really balances the feminism that's forced in this with Marvel and with the female team up scene. You know, it's like you can complain about that, but they gave you a dead woman splat on the ground again to balance it out. So, you know, and plus Captain Justin Bieber got punched in the face by Thanos. That was pretty gratifying too. The other thing I've heard complaint wise is like some of the stuff with like fat Thor and, you know, Professor Hulk being like a happy kind of hippie character or whatever as an attack on white males. It's like, did you not see that even like the dumbass Paul Rudd character was pretty grounded and emotionally gratifying, along with Captain America and Iron Man and his dad. So like, you know, people will make these weird extrapolations with a few bits of cringe. Really need to like look at the movie again. This was beautiful. The fact that they're pushing this and they maintained it pretty well. I just can't say enough. Like this is, it makes me think of Beowulf. It makes me think of Gilgamesh or like iconic religious stories, David and Goliath, the way they might have told them in theaters in like Greece or wherever in ancient times. This is our moment to have that. And our children probably will not see this in 10 years when they're old enough to see, like I got, you know, a 3-year-old. My children will probably not experience this like we have with Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so this will be something I'll be, you know, if we go camping or something, tell them like, yeah, you know, I used to go to these big dark rooms and sit with random strangers and we'd all watch a movie together and cheer and cry and this and that. And it was just, you know, as great as Infinity Wars, and I think it's kind of an equal and opposite delivery and tone. This was such an experience, even with my bad guy losing, which I hate bad guys losing. I was just, they've made characters worth the bad guy losing for me emotionally. So yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, Josiah. I can now officially say, without hesitation, I have the body of Thor because of this movie. I can officially say it. I have the body of Thor, and it makes me feel good. In this movie, though, in Endgame, I have the body of Thor, and no one can take that from me. I will always. I need to get like you know, when they start selling like movie stills. I need to get the movie still of Thor just while he's playing Fortnite, and that's what I want on my wall. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Oh man. But you know, you can tell people that, but you don't need to specify which movie of Thor your body resembles. So you can leave that up to them to decide. So
he might be the same way in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You never know if he's in it. I mean, he might be the same shape.
Yeah,
which is cool with me, and I'm glad he stayed the same shape throughout the whole film. I thought that was funny. For me personally, Thor is one of my favorite characters, and he turned out exactly how I thought he would turn out. Like, because that's just who he is. Like he'd be a drunken, overweight, but still kind of strong, letting himself go a little bit. And I'm like, I can identify with Thor now. Like I'm him. That's my body type, and he could still like do good things. So I'm good. Like that movie helped me get my act together. So.
I'm probably gonna go see it again tomorrow. And I'm really excited to see it again. I loved it way more the second time I watched it. And you made some really good points, Black Angus, like about like, they really did balance a lot of the things out. Like, they use like they kind of, I guess, in a sense, kind of brought down Thor and Hulk's characters a little bit as far as being awesome and stuff, but then they kind of elevated Ant-Man in a lot of ways and stuff. So you are right in that they really did still balance a lot of the characters, and that's actually a really good point. I didn't even think about that, so that's really good. And yeah, to me it was the perfect send off for hey Cat, what are you doing? It was the perfect send off for Captain America and Iron Man. Like, I don't think they could have ended their stories any more beautifully than how they did. So it was just incredible watching that.
Yeah, I would say this with Cap and Iron Man. If it was me making this, I might have flipped the script on it. I might have had Cap do it and have Iron Man make out with the family, because I don't know. I like bittersweet endings as opposed to, there is a bittersweetness with Iron Man, but he knows he has a child and stuff. He has a legacy. He undid everything, and he's had the whole series has been started with him and focused on him. But I would have kept it a little bittersweet with Captain America, where like he never really, people would be like, oh, they didn't do this for Cap, screw them. But it would really stick, where it's like, oh yeah, he went out, like him and Stark's controversy or beef with each other in Avengers, where it's like, why don't you just cut the wire? He's like, sometimes you just got to lay on the wire for the other guy, that whole argument of sacrifice. I would have kept it bittersweet for Cap instead of Iron Man. It never fulfilled that whole Peggy dance thing, but it was really good though.
Yeah. I guess yeah, I thought that Captain America was the one that was going to die and stuff. And I thought that he was the one that was going to be sacrificing himself. I thought that making it Iron Man really, in a way, kind of brought Iron Man full circle in his character, where he was pretty much the most selfish human being on the planet in the first Iron Man movie, and just kind of bringing him all the way full circle to be like the dude who sacrificed himself despite having a wife and kid, and really, wanting to share his life with them. At the end of the movie, still, despite all of that, he sacrificed himself to defeat Thanos and stuff, which I thought was awesome. And I also want to say that this movie really had one of those moments, one of those Lord of the Rings types of moments of an epic scale that really just brought out the emotions in me in a really powerful way. When everyone's coming through the portals and stuff, that moment, and then Captain America was like, Avengers assemble, and then everyone's charging forward. That just, oh man, it really just shook me big time, and I was just like in tears in that entire moment. And really, I haven't really felt a moment quite like that in a really, really long time. It was super, super powerful, but really well done, and just extremely emotional. So,
Oh, I agree. Absolutely. It was everything that would make you want to stand up and cheer. So it was. I honestly thought that was, you're waiting for someone to die again. I'm waiting. So it's like the big three are fighting Thanos. You have chubby Thor, you have Tony, and you have Captain. And Captain's shield gets all messed up, and Thor looks like he's about to get split in two. And then Captain picks up the hammer, and like they're fighting, and that was cool. And I'm thinking one of them's about to go, but then like Doctor Strange and the portals open up, and it was awesome. It was awesome to see everybody who you've ever seen in every movie walk through the portals.
yeah,
And you're just like, this is it, man. I thought it was. I mean, they figured out a way to redo the battle from like Wakanda. It seems like, again, this time with with Thanos leading his army and whatnot. And you want to know something, man? If Brie Larson like never really opened her mouth and never did all this craziness that she did, her scenes might not have been as negative as they, because every time she was out there, you're just kind of like, oh, here it comes. So,
Yeah.
but if she had just done her thing and not said anything and not done this whole agenda thing, it probably wouldn't have been as bad as what I thought. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would not have as big of a problem with Brie Larson.
blind Josiah made an appearance in the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't have as big of a problem with Brie Larson if she just kind of, focused on her character and the movies and try to do a good job with that and not worry about the identity politics. But, that's her thing. She's all about the agendas and the identity politics.
Yeah, and I don't think her moments would have been like, here it is.
Yeah.
In my theater, when she got punched, people clapped. So, and I was just like, I'm sitting with my buddies going, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, cause she got headbutt first by Thanos, and then she just kind of winked at him.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was kind of cool. He takes the Power Stone out, and then he winds up and just clocks her really good.
Yeah.
And people just were like, yeah, like there was some clapping. You're just like, oh boy.
Yeah.
She's done it to herself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true. The second time I watched Avengers Endgame, I was sitting next to a dude who was like the biggest Captain Marvel fan in on the planet. He like every time she came on the screen the screen and stuff, like he was cheering and clapping, and he kept on like whispering like, when's Captain Marvel gonna show up? Where's Captain Marvel? Like throughout the entire movie, and I was like, wow. I
Wow.
mean,
Well,
I guess she has some fans, so
I'm sure. I didn't particularly like her entrance at the end when she just kind of flies through his ship,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh man.
Yeah, oh man, no, I totally agree. Like there was so much tension in the fight up to that point, and I was so intense in my chair, just gripping onto it, and then she flies out of nowhere, right through the ship, and the whole tension just in the room just sank, and you could just feel it just completely leave the room, and that was upsetting to me. And
Yeah, because I didn't mind like Pepper Potts' thing. I thought that was cool.
Pepper Potts is amazing. She's a great character. For sure.
And I wouldn't have mind that whole little women's Avengers thing moment if it wasn't for Brie. Like if Black Widow did it or somebody else or Scarlet Witch did it, it probably would have been, oh snap, here it comes. But because it was her, you're just like, it just went from, oh, here it comes.
Yeah. Yep.
So like, oh, here it comes. This is what she wanted.
Yep, exactly. But I have to say that Captain America using Mjolnir was probably the coolest thing ever in the MCU for me. Everyone in my theater just started screaming and cheering and clapping at that part, and it was awesome.
When he picked up the hammer?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was a big moment too.
Yep. That was probably the coolest moment I've ever seen from the MCU. That was awesome. It was really awesome. And let's see, the whole thing with Thor giving him Mjolnir and being like, you can have the little one stuff. I thought that was great. The Thor was really awesome during the final fight too. Like he was using lots of lightning. His eyes were glowing blue and stuff. It was just really cool seeing that as well. Pepper Potts and Tony Stark fighting back to back was really cool as well.
Yes,
another one of my favorite parts. So those are definitely some of my highlights from the final battle and stuff. So
since you saw it twice, did what happened to the axe and hammer?
the hammer Captain America took back in time with him to put it back where it was when Thor took it when he was talking to his mom and stuff.
He took it from Asgard though.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he must have gotten to Asgard somehow because he also had to inject the reality stone back into Jane and stuff. So I don't know how he got to Asgard, but he did somehow. So I don't know how he did that. But and then I don't think it ever showed what happened to Stormbreaker though. I don't know what happened to Stormbreaker.
Now, do you think Valkyrie is going to be the female Thor moving forward?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Is that Black Panther?
What's that?
Is that Black Panther in your lap?
Yeah,
In your lap.
it's T'Challa. His name is T'Challa. So yeah, I guess you could say that.
Oh, that's hilarious. My grandma had a black.
He's having fur issues right now though, so he's yeah. The vet says it could be stress and stuff, so they said to kind of wait and see if his hair kind of grows back in. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So hopefully
if that doesn't work, I would recommend Rogaine.
Recommend what?
Rogaine.
Okay.
No, it's a bald joke because Rogaine.
Okay.
Bald remedy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Way over your head.
Yeah, I don't know much about bald remedy stuff, so
yeah, I went bald at 19, so I was looking into all that stuff before it happened, and I just accepted it and went in the army.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Yep. But let's see. I'm trying to on my second viewing, I really liked the first half of the movie a lot more. The first time I watched the movie, I wasn't quite on board with the first half or so of the movie where they were kind of doing the time travel type of stuff. And then when they actually got to the different places, like the whole thing with them being in New York again, and during from like the first Avengers movie was awesome. I loved everything that they did with that. Captain America fighting Captain America was fantastic. That was really cool to see.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
that was a great scene.
Cap versus Cap. That was actually good. I didn't expect that. So that was a cool twist. The one thing I'll say is they should have had, Savage Hulk from when we first met him in Avengers versus calm, mild-mannered Bruce Banner Hulk. That would have been a good contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the America's ass joke was fine, but it didn't really gel for me from Captain America himself. I mean, I guess he's kind of saying his thoughts because it's a film.
Yeah.
So I think in the comics he would just have like a thought bubble, but
yeah,
it didn't really work for his progression. I guess is like as a little thing. It's not a big deal. But maybe that was to show, like he's saying, son of a bitch. He's saying America's ass. This was showing that, like, he has dropped all preconceived notions, all things that don't matter for the fight. He's just, like, shed to the bare bone his character. That could be the grand idea behind it, or it could just be, here's a joke.
Right.
Either way, it works for most people.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, like I said, I thought that the whole thing with them going back in time was really cool. Let me think. I liked how much they gave Nebula in this movie. I thought that it was cool that they gave her a bigger part in this movie. Nebula,
yes,
awesome.
And I'm glad that she was part of the twist.
Yeah,
like that she was able to like give Thanos the hint that something's going on. I think that was awesome, actually.
Definitely. I totally agree. Agree.
Because Nebula's always been like sidekick, like her whole, and like this movie, they gave it to her.
Mm-hmm.
They gave her a lot of, she was a secret spy. She was, it was just really, that was cool. I agree with you, Josiah. That was really good.
Yep. And then we saw Loki also using like grabbing the Tesseract and disappearing, and that's probably going to be kind of where they spin off the show, the Loki show that's going to be on Disney Plus, which apparently is going to be like Doctor Who in style. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
Probably lots of time stuff, timey-wimey stuff or whatever Doctor Who says. I don't even know because I don't watch Doctor Who, but he says something like that. So let's see here. Let's see what the chat is saying. Hulk versus Hulk would have been awesome. That would have been cool. I wish that we had more with Hulk. I really do. I wish that we got to see Hulk. I think the biggest miss of this movie for me was that we didn't see a rematch between Hulk and Thanos.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking for that too.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I wish that they would have done, because that's kind of what everyone wanted, I guess.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say that I think they missed, especially with the jokes going around and I mean, I think this is a pretty old joke for like how to beat Thanos. Is something to do with Ant-Man, where it's up to the butt, and Brolin went along with this joke, Paul Rudd went along with this joke. And the fact that he didn't have an actual interaction of like people distracting, like it'd been great if you had Hulk team up with Ant-Man. Hulk's like at least one arm in it against Thanos to try to stall him or distract him. Iron Man's trying to get the gauntlet or the stones, and then poof, Ant-Man slips in, and you can have like a reminiscent moment like X-Men Apocalypse, when Apocalypse kind of picks up on Quicksilver.
Yeah.
You can have that moment where it's like you think, haha, guys, I got one of the stones, I've ruined his plan, and then he like grabs it back from him and slams it back in the gauntlet. But I did love when he punched Captain Marvel. But that whole sequence shows you like how screwed they are if she's like going forward in this series for like 5 or 6 movies still. You have Ultimate Superman in this series. Like, what's the point of anyone else helping?
Yeah.
What's the point of even Wakanda having smarts if you can just punch your way through everything? What were your thoughts when they brought her back 5 years in the future and she had the Justin Bieber haircut?
It was kind of jarring. I was like, oh, okay, what what's the deal with this? I don't know. It was just kind of weird to me. I mean, I didn't really feel one way or another about it. It was just kind of like, I don't know. It was just kind of weird, I guess. But I was pretty indifferent to it, to be honest. So, what about you guys?
No, I like I said, I everything. I think they did everything that they could possibly do. The cheese moment for me was having the rat get Ant-Man out. Thought that was kind of I thought they were gonna do a little bit better than that. That was a little lazy writing, but
Yeah.
It is what it is. With what the big grand scheme of things that they were trying to put together. I mean, I get it. It wasn't a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, when you say that, Drunk, I was actually fine with that because some things, like, I have no problem with coincidence maybe kicking off a plot, or it's just like, oh, I happen to have X thing, as long as they still have struggle or people figuring out things, and it's not just the coincidences like dropped in their lap to go forward. I'm fine with it, and I think the rat was a fine coincidence to start the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a deal breaker. The I was, man, they really milked the Tony thing hard. They showed his daughter, he's having the talk with Potts saying, I could just turn it off and we'll just be a family.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my gosh. I thought for sure when they showed his kids that they can't kill him now. They can't and oh my gosh. And then it's like the one line that really just crushed my soul was, "Are you hungry? I want to get a cheeseburger." I'm like, "Oh,
God. Yeah."
Oh,
Yeah,
like, because that just goes all the way back to the very first film.
Yep.
Exactly. Dude, yeah, they hammered it. They did it with I Am Iron Man, with the cheeseburger, with the wreath, with his little gift from Pepper. It's like proof he has a heart, and it's like, oh my God, you're just.
Yeah, they just threw it all in, man.
I was sobbing. I did not care. I'm very in tune with my emotions, and I'm attached to this character and this betrayal, and it was definitely satisfying. It was bittersweet because it's like he saved the day, but it cost him, and so yeah, if they screw with this and the Black Widow movie isn't actually a prequel, but it's like, oh, we like screwed with the Soul Stone and got her back, and it's like, well, why isn't Iron Man here or anyone else?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that would kind of take away the significance of Black Widow's death. As much as I'd love to have her come back, I I feel like that would just kind of ruin the whole meaning of her sacrifice. So I hope that they don't do that. And I hope it is a prequel. I think it's going to be. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts about that, I guess. Let's see. Captain Marvel also seemed better than the movie version in the Lego games. I haven't played the Lego games, so
Oh, dude, like the first Lego game of Marvel superheroes is really good. I played a little bit of the second one, but I haven't gone enough to like really get enough of the plot to know if I like it or not, because it's like a multiverse and you got like I don't know, some giant sword in the air that's attacking, so I don't know what's going on yet.
Okay.
I mean, it's comic stuff, but it's like
Sure.
I don't know enough of the comics to understand what's going on.
So, do you guys have any thoughts about where the future of the MCU is going to be going now that we're done with Endgame?
In the toilet.
Can I go first, Angus? And then I'm gonna head out because I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
It's 11 o'clock here. I got to get up at 5.
Okay.
So, I have to tell you that I think this closed the book for me, and I'm just not excited to see the next round of films, whatever they got coming up. I feel like there's a YouTuber called The Amazing Lucas, and he talked about this, and I'm like, man, I feel the exact same way. It's like we invested 10 years into this, and they just shut the book.
Yeah.
So it will really have to. There's really gonna have to be something for me to kind of like be excited to go see a film again.
Yeah.
Like that you could save money and just wait for it to come out on Stars or HBO or something.
Yeah.
It would have to be really intriguing. Every news report out there is like it's Captain Marvel's going to lead the Avengers or whatever. She's going to lead the next phase, however that looks like.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Far From Home. I don't know if I'm going to even bother seeing it. Like,
Really?
I'll just hear what everybody has to say. Yeah, because I can have patience and see a film. To go to the movies, it's a big deal. You're spending a lot of money, time, for me anyway. And to I don't know. I feel like I could wait. Unless like the reviews come out and they go, this movie is a must see, then I'll probably go check it out. But nothing like getting my tickets in advance and going to see it. Like Black Panther 2 is coming. That's a possibility because I really like the first one. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If Thor's in that one, that might pique my interest a little bit. I don't know. It's just kind of weird for me. I feel like as of right now, today, my Marvel book has been shut, and I'll just have to see what they're gonna do for me to like kind of get as jacked amped as I have been for the next phase. That's just me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I mean, this is kind of the closing for me as well of the MCU. Moving forward, I'm kind of emotionally detached to what happens. I'm still going to be seeing the movies, and I'm gonna hope that they're good. But I'm definitely emotionally detached from the future of the MCU for at least at this point, until they hopefully prove me otherwise. But yeah. What about you, Black Angus?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I've told people I'm. Oh, one moment. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. But Josiah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Drunk3PO. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you at the 4,000 mark. So
We're getting there. The race is on, brother.
yeah, for sure.
We're getting there.
Yeah, so I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and thank you for coming on. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody. All right, till next time.
All right, see ya. RC from the New York City. I'm assuming that's what NYC stands for. I don't know what else it would stand for. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. I really appreciate it. Hey Josiah, hello and blessings to all. I asked that everyone post a peace sign in memory of Stan Lee in his last MCU cameo. Make love, not war. That is a good idea. Let's go ahead and do that. I will even drop one in the chat as well. In honor of Stan Lee. And everything that he's done for us and giving us this incredible universe that we can all enjoy and stuff. I mean it's really amazing. It's really amazing what Stan Lee has done for pop culture and for our for our society and everything. It's just it's pretty amazing stuff. So but thank you for that, RC. I really appreciate it. Every time I think of New York City, all I think is just pizza, and that's all I want. Even right now, I'm really hungry actually, and pizza sounds amazing. Dang it, I'm hungry now. Oh man, I want pizza so badly. But yeah, thank you for that, RC. I really appreciate it. Sing VeggieTales song again. Oh man. All right. How about this one, guys? Let me know if you guys remember this one, okay? Barbara Manatee, you are the one for me.
What the hell's happening?
Sent from up above, you are the one I love, the one I love.
What was that?
Hey, someone asked me to sing a VeggieTales song, so I did.
Oh,
So
okay. That's why it sounded familiar. I like some VeggieTales. Even though I'm an atheist now, I still pop in those old Larry Boy and stuff.
Oh man, yeah,
that's good.
True nostalgia there. Jeez.
Yeah. Sorry. What was the question you asked me previously?
Let's see. It was what are your thoughts about the MCU moving forward? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely emotionally checked out. You killed like I would say the number one draw, actor wise and character wise in my book, because he's a perfect balance of like a mind just for a person making a suit, but the suit's kind of souped up over time, where it's went from like plausibly practical to being a sci-fi element of the character. I really don't know where you're going to go after this. You've had like this giant sci-fi comic spectacle. You've taken like Alex Ross artwork and threw it on the screen. It looks like something like probably the closest you'll ever get to Secret Wars as far as building up to it properly. It was just chaotic, but it was like controlled chaos. It made sense. Don't know what you do with that. You kind of got to rebuild this whole series. So yeah, going forward, I'm only interested as a YouTuber, just trying to cover hot stuff where it's like, yeah, I saw this movie, blah blah blah. But there's no excitement even for this Phase 3. What is that movie? Far From Home is supposed to be the end for this phase. I'm not really interested. They have not done Spider-Man as far as a complete series or universe. They haven't done him justice yet to draw me. If anything, I'm excited for the Sony verse with the Venom verse and Sony getting Spider-Man back possibly, and with James Gunn's Brightburn, hopefully that'll become a universe or something, or at least a good one-off comic style movie. I love the idea of Superman being an enemy. I think that's how he works the best, unless you really tear his character apart and strip him bare.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really excited for Brightburn. That's honestly one of the films I'm looking forward to the most this year. I just saw that what are their names? The dudes who made Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse are actually going to be helming a new TV universe for Sony. Like a Spider-Man universe and stuff. So that'll be really cool. I'm excited for that now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, hopefully they do it on Netflix and just, because Netflix has more money behind it than Disney, and so this would be a good counter to the rebooting Marvel TV verse for Disney,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought I really liked Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that movie was really, really well done.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack's great. You can argue there's an SJW initiative with the black kid and the white girl, um, Spider-Man. But they have a basis in the comics, even if it is like the introduction of, even if their arrival is the introduction of like SJW comics. You can create them right. I read the first 3 volumes of Miles Morales. I really liked the first one, and then it kind of shows why a lot of people hate it, where it's like, oh, this is just a carbon copy of Peter Parker, but he's black, so it counts as a minority. And it's like, what's the point of this? And I don't know if you've read those, but they like never let him actually have a character in the comics. It's like, oh, here's another Spider-Man, or oh, this universe Spider-Man's dead. Let's bring in the new Black Spider-Man, and then there's like a Mysterio opening a portal to this universe, and then they bring our Spider-Man into his universe, and then his Spider-Man ends up not being dead, and they bring in like Cloak and Dagger, and then his girlfriend happens to work for Hydra, and it's just like they never let him rest and just be his own character. So they did it really well in this movie. And I can't wait to see a sequel, even an all-female character sequel in this universe. I'm open to it, as opposed to Captain Marvel verse.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as as long as they don't fall into the whole woke thing, I'm totally fine with that for sure. I thought that Spider-Gwen was awesome in Into the Spider-Verse. So,
yeah, I've always been a fan of her look. I have a couple statues of her, and I can appreciate the Woody at least. And so, giving her an actual character is a bonus.
Yep. I saw someone. Let's see. There was a couple of articles that were out yesterday or the day before that were talking about how the like the female Doc Ock was kind of like the big bad villain of this kind of Spider-Man universe that they're trying to set up and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm fine with that. I actually like the spongy tentacles is like a cool new element that might make her more or less vulnerable.
Definitely,
depending how they write it. I don't care if it's a female. I mean, this is an alternate universe. It's not like where we're following Miles is not the 616 as far as like at least how he starts. I mean, maybe they've roped him into the true Marvel universe. I don't know. It gets confusing, but see, okay, that's another thing too. Okay, with universes, they've opened up this whole like alternate timeline stuff. I'm thinking if it's not a prequel, they're going to get Black Widow from a different timeline and drag her into the current MCU timeline. If they don't mess with the Soul Stone. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, Lord Miller. I've said this in my Spider-Man video. I think Marvel does have a little bit better positioning with how Endgame has boosted them up for the short time, at least going forward. Captain Marvel. And like Tessa and all that, but along with Guardians of the Galaxy being a thing again. But long term, I think everything's in Sony's hands, especially if they get Spider-Man live action back. And I really hope they cross Tom Holland Spider-Man with the Spider-Verse universe and have it back and forth. That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. It'd be cool if they kept it like if Tom Holland was like, a live action version of himself inside of the kind of animated world that they had set up with the Spider-Verse. That would be amazing.
See, I think that would be too much of a sore thumb element and vice versa if he brought like Miles animated into ours. But I think if you cross them though, and it's like, oh, here's Black Spider-Man, and you like cast, I don't know, maybe the actual kid who voices Miles in the movie, if he's fit enough, or Donald Glover. People really wanted a Donald Glover Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, it could be really fun. And Tom Holland's already doing some voice acting for Disney, and I think Blue Sky with Will Smith. So
yep.
It wouldn't be a stretch for him to voice act for a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, yep. And Tom Holland's also doing the Onward movie, the next Pixar movie as well. So, let's see here. Kermit the Log, thank you for that $2 super chat. I appreciate that.
Wait, did you say Kermit the Log?
Kermit the Log.
I love it.
Kermit the Log is an awesome person. I don't even really know if I don't know much about Kermit the Log. All I know is that they like to join my streams. They're always supportive, and they always drop some pretty dank truth bombs. So it's always awesome to have Kermit the Log in the chat. So thank you for that, Kermit the Log. I really appreciate that. Let's see. I've watched Infinity War over 7 times. Yeah, I've seen that movie a lot too. I think I saw it 5 times in theaters, 5 or 6 times.
Nice. Yeah, I saw it 4 times.
Yeah, it was incredible. I'm gonna see Endgame again tomorrow, and then I'll probably wait a few weeks and then maybe see it one more time. That's probably what I'll do with Endgame.
Hey, you know what you should do? You should do a back-to-back Captain Marvel Endgame viewing.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Honestly, the thing that annoys me so much about Captain Marvel the most is probably how Nick Fury loses his eye, to be completely honest. Like I was like really irritated by that in the theater. I was like, really? This is how badass Nick Fury loses his eye. Nice.
Yeah, I heard about it. I do want to use that clip was on Twitter, and I should have grabbed it. I wasn't thinking because I didn't have this plan at the time. But my Mike Zero universe, the third one, it might have to get pushed back to the fourth one. But I'm wanting to use that scene and have Bandit incorporated and voiceover that, because it's like I just want to include him in the series for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'd be a funny thing. So I've seen it, like screenshot or whatever from theater. I didn't even realize, Winter Soldier. I was just like, really? Like, you didn't? It's not even that he lost his eye to a cat. It's that you didn't even use the cat's ability for a cool way, like having a tentacle or something. Have a tentacle pop out his eye for some reason, like he's right by it when the cat's in distress or something. And it's just like, oh no, he just calmly scratches them and it just gets infected. It's like, what? Like, I always assumed Nick Fury, even Sam Jackson's Fury, was like a Vietnam badass from like the special forces and stuff.
Exactly.
And so he's had to, trust people.
The last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye, is what he says, or something like that. And I don't know, like, I guess I expected something just way more epic than a cat scratch, but I don't know. Well, I don't think that the directors who made Captain Marvel were really that great either.
No, they've done nothing from what I was looking at.
The Russo brothers, I will say that they handled Captain Marvel in a much better way than they ever did. Like, they actually managed to give Captain Marvel a little bit of personality and a little bit of likability, unlike the directors did in Captain Marvel. So yeah.
I gotta ask this? Did when the cat comes into the story or scratches the eye or whenever, do they at least have the smarts to play Cat Scratch Fever at one point in this movie?
Oh man, unfortunately no.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity, man.
Yeah. They oh man, yeah. And I think it's really funny how like they're like showing Captain Marvel again in the theaters now that Endgame's like in theaters too and stuff. And now like a lot of people in the mainstream media are like talking about how Captain Marvel is now like the highest gross, like beat out Wonder Woman or something like that in the domestic box office, and pretty much just riding off the back of Avengers Endgame and stuff. So it's just really funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, we have to have the responsibility to show that, before Wonder Woman came out, I was on the train of like, it's going to suck. I keep hearing bad things about it. And, it's enjoyable. I think one of the best surprises was her and Chris Pine's chemistry. So I really hope they bring him back somehow, time travel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe he's in Wonder Woman, the next one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Compared, you look at the series of Marvel, it's not even just Marvel, but Marvel's been consistent. The worst rated film is a 66 critically from Thor 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring in Captain Marvel into the series in between the epic two-parter. And what does Wonder Woman have? It had Batman vs. Superman, it had Suicide Squad, it had Man of Steel, like nothing but like divisive films in the series. So
Yeah.
it had everything against it, and it still made 800 million.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. Yeah, it was. I mean, Wonder Woman was not coming off of the hype of any really great movie or anything, so that definitely was playing against it for sure. Kat, you are totally just blocking the camera right now. You are an absolute goofball. LOL. I saw Civil War over 5 times. Can't even remember now. Yeah, I mean, I saw like the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Winter Soldier, and Infinity War and Endgame. I saw all of those at least like 4 times in theaters. But yeah, those were all like definitely like the big movies for me as far as in the MCU. So
Yeah, I'll tell people still in the chat, the way you save money to repeatedly see these films is, you buy a cheap bottle of whiskey at home, and you take a flask to the movies instead of buying popcorn and soda and whatnot. You just, coast with your whiskey, and then you have more money for viewings.
there you go. Yeah, I don't like ever buy any of the concessions when I go to the theater, to be honest. I just can't bring myself to spend like whatever it is, like $5 on a small drink or something like that. So yeah, I pretty much just kind of avoid all of the concessions altogether. But I remember back when the first Avengers movie came out, when I went to see that, it was when they were still doing like the midnight showings of some of the movies. So I went to the midnight showing of that, and before I went in, I bought like 4 or 5 like cheeseburgers from Wendy's, a 1-pound bag of M&Ms, and 2 Monster drinks. And so I pretty much just feasted the entire time I watched the movie. That was a lot of fun. I used to smuggle food all the time to the theater. Let's see, I smuggled a couple footlongs from Subway. That was fun.
Where did you put them?
I was with my buddy, and I had like a coat with me, and so I draped the coat over my arm and hid
Okay.
under that. So it worked out pretty good. We were gonna try to smuggle an entire pizza into the theater sometime, but that never happened. But it was gonna be a challenge, but we just never got around to it. But yeah, those were good days. Those were good days.
Yeah, I was excited to find out a new coworker. He works at the theater as well here in my town, but Cinemark doesn't give you any perks. It gives you free movies, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you like a discount on concessions that you can only eat during lunch. It's like it's like you don't even get discount when you come off the clock because you work there. So it really ruined all my anticipation. Like, oh man, we got a theater worker working with us. Maybe what kind of inside shit can I get?
Yeah.
Especially for YouTube, and nothing.
Oh man, yeah. I have a friend who actually works for theater, and he over the past couple of years, especially when I was going through my period where I was completely broke and I couldn't afford to go to any movie, he really came in clutch a lot and was able to get me into a lot of stuff. He had a lot of like guest passes and stuff, so he was able to get me into the movies quite a bit. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was those were good times. I think we have a drunk R2D2 in the chat. What is this? I didn't know there was such a thing. The trick to smuggle a pizza pie into theaters is to wrap each slice with foil and tuck them into a bag. Works for me. That's actually a good idea. That's a good idea, RC. I'll have to try that out sometime. because pizza's amazing. So if I could eat pizza and watch a movie at the same time in theaters, doesn't get much better than that. I feel for theater workers. The cinema's probably trashed after Endgame. Oh yeah, hands down. My buddy who works at the theater and stuff, like he says, like he said that it's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty crazy over there after Endgame, and like it, even when I was there and stuff, like for my second viewing, I went to a pretty late viewing for my second viewing, and they had like there was just people everywhere, and they had like cops guiding people out of the theater and stuff, and it was nuts. It was insane. So this movie is just destroying records right now. I mean, $1.2 billion opening weekend. It's just insanity.
I was going to go back to the smuggling thing really quick. What we need to do, Josiah, is just get, a very big but girly purse and, foil wrap those pizzas, whatever. And, like, hey, sir, we need to check you. Like, it is ma'am. And say, I know I don't conform to your gender norms, but I'm a woman. Please unhand me. And, boom, we're in.
Oh man! The sad thing is that would probably work. That would probably work.
Well, dude, think it like most people at theaters are like 22 or younger, just dummies that are just trying to scrape by or whatever.
Yep.
And do the minimum for their pay. So they hear that and it's like, oh yeah, there's all these EO and stuff. We'll just leave you alone.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the next movie that I'm going to be seeing in theaters?
Brightburn,
Detective Pikachu and Tolkien are next weekend.
Oh, I know you're going to be at Tolkien.
Yes, I will be at both of those theaters, so it's going to be a double movie for me that weekend.
Yeah, I have no interest in Detective Pikachu. I'm not a big Pokemon. Like I did say, it would pique my interest if they had Mewtwo, and they ended up having Mewtwo, and I'm like, ooh, that's cool. But I've never been a diehard Pokemon kid, And with Tolkien, I'll have to hear from you. I'll hear from you. I'll hear your bias, and then I'll check like Collider perhaps just to get to balance that, and then I'll kind of get a perception and see if I want to go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not a big Pokemon fan either, but I don't know, like the movie just looks like a really fun time to me, so I'm gonna be checking it out. And Ryan Reynolds is great always, so I'm excited to see him cussing as Pikachu. That'll be fun. So I have a question for you guys. What if I want you guys to challenge me to try to smuggle something into the theater? That'd be fun. That'd be a fun time. What would you guys like to see me try to smuggle into a theater? Nothing ridiculous. It can be a little funny. It can be a little silly, but
Dang. I was gonna say a film projector. It'd be ironic.
Oh man.
Like an old timey one with reel.
That would be funny. That'd be funny.
No, actually project, when they're showing the movie, actually project I don't know, Home Alone, or the fake movie in Home Alone with black and white, or It's a Wonderful Life, or just something off the wall. People are going to see Endgame, but you see him Jimmy Stewart over Thanos, and hey, get this out of here. It'd just be so wacky.
Oh man.
But while people are thinking, I forgot to say it. When I did my most successful video that keeps getting clicks is what is a flirkin, and I read the 2014 Kelly Sue DeConnick Captain Marvel because it has Chewie in it, which is Goose the cat. And I read it to understand because people are like, oh, you fandom ministers, you're just negative, wah wah wah. And so I was like, I've had this idea well, Goose the cat is just this alien. It's this octopus-faced alien cat. What if it is the key to beating Thanos, but just eats his hand and teleports it to another dimension? So that was my off-the-wall comic prediction. Of course, it didn't happen. I would say disappointingly in some ways. but yeah, I keep getting clicks on it.
Yeah. How many views does that video have now?
3,000. So that's my best
Okay.
video.
Nice.
Technically, it's beat one of my unlisted Captain Marvel Rotten Tomato videos. Like, most of my stuff I create, I try to make it like timeless, and I only cover like the hot stuff with Captain Marvel because it was pertinent to my theory about Hollywood collusion against fans. So I've unlisted those, but there's something else I was going to add to that. But yeah, I really wanted the cat to be the key to beating Thanos.
Yeah, that would have been interesting for sure. Let's see. Derek says my wife has a huge purse, and we stop by the dollar store before we go to the movies, bringing in candy, sodas, jerky, pork rinds. Gotta have my pork rinds. Yeah, whenever I go see the movie with my wife, I'll have to remember that and store some things in her purse because that'd be an easy way to smuggle something in. Especially with my wife's purse, you can fit like an entire body inside of that thing. So I'll have to keep that in mind next time. Unfortunately, as a dude though, I don't have a purse, so I'll have to be more creative in the way that I do things. Well, a couple people are saying a bucket of chicken from KFC. That'd be interesting. I don't even know if we have a KFC around here. They've pretty much all kind of died out for Michigan, to be honest.
Wow. Do you have like Popeyes or Churches?
Oh yeah, we have Popeyes.
There you go. Popeyes is good.
Yeah, I could try that. Actually, we might have a KFC on. Let me see. Oh, we do have a KFC. It's like 8 miles from here or something. So yeah, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try that if I want to risk it. We'll see. But yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be really fun. Smuggling a cheeseburger in honor of Iron Man. Ooh, you got me right in the feels with that one. Truth Apocalypse, right in the feels. Well, that's a great idea. I should do that just in honor of Tony Stark. So that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Guys, this has been a really awesome stream. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for coming on, Black Angus. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you guys for your support. Thank you for your generosity, for your donations. If I do smuggle in KFC, trust me, I will have evidence and I will definitely have footage of that. So don't worry about that. Thank you all of you for your support. I really appreciate you guys. Let's get some flame emojis in the chat as Black Angus gives his final adieu.
Well, thank you all. Appreciate Josiah. I still don't know why he doesn't have an Angus of color as a moderator on his channel, but whatever. Come check me out. I cover film philosophy in the NFL. I got some good stuff recently. If you love Game of Thrones and the Fandom Menace, like Josiah said earlier, I have the casting the Fandom Menace in Game of Thrones. Episode 2 just came out yesterday for World Class Bullshitters. Next week will be Geeks and Gamers. Josiah did make the cut, so be prepared for that. Hopefully uploaded next Sunday as well. Got to write the scripts for each channel and their character. But yeah, it's been fun. I also had an interview with Ray Kennex, the actress from the Ahsoka fan film. Rookie Critic joined me. We had a really good discussion. First hour is pretty much all Star Wars and her fan film. And we got to know her. Got to get her take on not just for the Phantom Menace, but the Divide in Last Jedi. Check that out. It's really interesting. Trying to open her up to she seems like she is. She's a prequel fan, so it's really good interaction. Get to know her and learn about what's to come with that film. I think. Oh yeah, and if you love Josiah and parodies, I did a Drunk3PO and JosiahRises parody video about their beef. So check that out.
That was a fun video. Really enjoyed that. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I will stay hydrated. Thank you, Lou. I've been doing a lot better about that, so don't worry about that. Thank you so much for keeping tabs on me. I appreciate it. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming out, and I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.